All right, guys, what's going on? Justin from 79 Productions, and today I'm going to be working on this Integra. Guys, when I got this thing, I got it just for the engine, and before I pull that engine out, guys, I want to put the clutch on it, put the tranny on it, and try to fire this thing up just to see if this engine is good. And because I'm going to put this engine in another project car that I have, so I don't want to pull this engine out, pull the engine out of that car, put this one in that car just to find out we got a problem or something like that. So I just want to give this engine a, kind of check it out before I do all of that. So we're going to get to that right now. I'm going to install the clutch, I'm going to install the tranny, and we're going to see if this thing fires up. All right, guys, so here goes that $150 transmission that I got out the junkyard. Now, I've been using parts cleaner on this and been here for about 30 minutes cleaning it up, and it looks a lot better than it did before. All right, guys, so here's a new clutch compared to the old. You can see this thing is destroyed. There we go. And you just want that on there flat just to align it. All right, guys, so now that we got that clutch on, we want to get this pressure plate on, and that's it right there. It's on, and we're just gonna put a couple bolts in to hold it into place. There we go. Got another one in. Just gonna hand tighten these, and then we're gonna torque them down. All right, guys, so right now I'm gonna torque this down, and what I'm doing is I'm torquing it in a cross pattern, and that way it can kind of go down evenly. So this is actually really easy to do, and if you're ever doing this, look up the torque specs for your specific car. So now that we got that torque down, we're just gonna pull the alignment tool out, and we're good to go. All right, guys, so right now what we're gonna do is pull off the old throwout bearing, and if you look at this, guys, this thing, you can hear it moving. That's no good. So this is what you want. So yeah. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do here, put a little bit of grease around that, not too much, and then just a little bit in here. That way it can slide on the output shaft. So now, guys, this needs to lock in there. So we're just gonna set that on there, and we're gonna put this in. And guys, look, you're gonna listen. If you listen, you're gonna hear a little click. There it goes. It's locked in there, and now we can install the tranny. All right, guys, so here we go. We got this thing on the jack, and we're gonna try to lift it up and get it as close as possible to where we want it. I wish I had some help doing this, but I'm on my own today, so we're just gonna try to get this thing into place. And once I got it in there, I'll put it in from the top. And we're almost there. And there we go, guys. That thing looks like it's good over here on this dowel pin. And we're gonna bolt it in from the top. All right, guys, I'm tightening that. Now, guys, if this goes in and you start to feel force, stop. You do not want to crack your bell housing. Like I said, I already have this lined up on the dowel pin, so I know it's good to go. But you can easily crack something, you know. If you can, guys, push that in. Now, I'm here by myself, so this is the only way I could do it, but that is in there. And now we can move on to the rest of the bolts. All right, guys, so we're moving along, tighten these bolts in. And yeah, I'm doing this thing with one hand, but gotta hold the camera, so we're doing good today. This thing is pretty much installed. All right, guys, so we got that tranny on. Now we're just gonna hook up the starter, and we're gonna try to get this thing fired up. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. All right, guys, so I've been trying to start this thing for the last 4 hours. It had spark. It's getting fuel. It's on timing. I've been just trying to figure this out, and you know, my buddy said this car ran, but I'm starting to doubt it ran. Like, I started looking at stuff, and like, that's a OBD2 alternator plug that's on the alternator, and this has a OBD1 plug. So the alternator was not connected, and it can't be connected unless I splice the wires and get another plug. So I don't think this car was driving. I got the tranny in. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a compression check now, just to rule that out and make sure this thing has compression. All right, guys, so this cylinder has about 70 psi. So this one has 30 psi. This one has 60 psi. Well, we can see why this engine's not starting now. And this engine, I want to say that's about 15, 20. Yeah, got a bad engine here. All right, guys, so we've been trying to fire this thing up. It would not start, so I finally decided to do a compression check. Before I did the compression check, guys, just made sure everything was getting spark, made sure it was getting fuel, made sure the engine was on time. And finally, I finally said, man, this thing just does not want to start. Let me do a compression check. And, well, guys, you've seen it, guys. The compression on these cylinders is not good. It's not where I want it to be. So yeah, the compression is horrible. So I'm gonna say this engine is not in the best shape. So it is what it is. I only paid $400 for the car. You know, I'm glad I decided to put the tranny in, put the clutch, put the tranny in, just to see if I got this thing started. Guys, once I got it fired up, I was gonna pull the engine out and put it in my other project. I'm glad I did it this way, because if I would have pulled the engine out of the other project, put this in there, and then found out that it was no good, it would have been a lot more work to do it that way. So, you know, but guys, I want to bring up this point to you. When you're buying these projects, right? When you're buying these projects, always make sure you don't spend too much money. I said it in the last video. Don't buy these projects for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and then you find out that the project doesn't have a good engine, or it's got a bad transmission, or you got to do something to it. At the end of the day, guys, these are old Hondas. You are always going to have to do some work to it. So be careful with that, you know. And I thought I had a good engine here because, like I said, I know the guy, and you know, he said he was driving it, but there's a couple of things on this car that made me think that he wasn't driving it. One of them being that the alternator, it has a OBD2 alternator on it, and the wiring harness is OBD1. So the alternator, the plug would not plug into the alternator. And guys, you're going to drive the car for a couple minutes, and then the battery's not going to hold charge, and it's going to cut off. So, you know, that's one of the reasons. Another reason, the car wasn't holding air. The wheels weren't holding air. The valve stem seals were bad. So the valve stem was bad on the rims, so it wouldn't hold air. That's something I went and took the wheel to the tire shop. He changed the valve stem, and that only cost me like $5 to do. But yeah, the tires wouldn't hold air, and he was like, yeah, you know, I was just filling them up, and they held air for a couple of days. And well, when I tried to fill them up, it kind of went flat in like 15-20 minutes. So, you know, I mean, there's a couple of things that make me think that he wasn't being the most honest. And then I mean, there's some other stuff too, but I only paid $400 for this car, so I'm not mad. I had someone offer me $650 for the car already. I don't think I'm gonna sell it because, well, I could probably get more money just parting the car out. You know, the dash is good. I could probably get $250 for that dash. The door panels, get $100 a piece for those. It has a complete black interior besides the seats. And guys, people are paying top dollar for those black interiors. And the rear disc brake, I get about $200 for that. The disc brake conversion, about another $300 for the front clip. So I'll make my money parting it out, and that's why I'm not upset. That's why I want you guys to know, get these things as cheap as you can, guys, because you're gonna always run into this stuff, and someone's gonna tell you something's good when it's not. You know, it's that's just a part of this. So I don't even get mad at stuff like that anymore. Before, I'd be like, oh man, you know, guys, I was mad for about 5 minutes, and now that I know what's going on with it, it's time to move forward. I'm going to pull the engine and tranny out. I'm going to probably go through the engine. Hopefully it can be, hopefully it's rebuildable, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but these B20s, they have a lot of the time. Here's the thing. Most of the times that a B20 is bad, it has burnt valves or something. It's not getting compression because it has burnt valves. These are notorious for that. But also, they are also notorious for the cylinders cracking because the cylinder walls are so thin. So hopefully it's not that. Now, if it's that, it's going to be trash. But if it's a burnt valve or something, or it just needs to be bored or something, we could go through and rebuild it. That's what I'm going to do, because right now, B20s, man, guys, these JDM shops are trying to sell these things for $1,000. Someone even told me 1,100. You know, I called a couple of shops. The cheapest I found one was for $1,000 for a JDM B20B. The most I found one for was about $1,400. And guys, those prices, yeah, I'm not paying that for a B20. When I bought mine for the blue car, it was $400. And yeah, it just went up way too much. So for those prices, $1,000, I could probably go through and rebuild this engine. If it's just a head gasket, it's going to be a lot cheaper. If I need to replace a couple of valves and do a head gasket job, it's going to be a lot cheaper than $1,000. So we're going to see. But that's it for this video, guys. Just kind of wanted to wrap this up and show you why you don't spend that kind of money, you know, a couple $1,000s on these cars, because stuff like this always happens. So that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at 79th Productions. And if you haven't, pick up some merchandise, guys. The link will be in the description. And that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. God bless you guys.